Hey everybody, my name is Deja and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my February TBRs. So I have 2 reading vlogs planned throughout the month. I'm going to be doing a fantasy romance reading vlog, and I'm going to be doing a winter book reading vlog since this is like really the last month of winter to me. Spring starts in March, but I know for a lot of people it's still really cold. So that vlog will probably be coming out towards the end of February, and then I'll be having this romantasy reading vlog coming out towards the beginning of February, like in the first half, because I want to post it before Valentine's Day. In honor of Valentine's Day, I really like to post and read seasonally. If you can't tell, it's one of my favorite things. So yeah, I have those 2 reading vlogs. I'm not going to be going over my complete TBR for those, but we may get some of the books for those reading vlogs on to my spinner wheel. If you're new here, because I actually have a lot of new people coming to my channel, I do a spinner wheel and a TBR jar every single month, as well as I have a Patreon book club, and I'm doing a read-along for the first couple months of the year as well. I'm also going to be participating in one readathon this month, which I'm really excited to be participating in. And yeah, before we get into all of that, I'm going to start off with Patreon. So as I said, I have a Patreon, we have a book club, we do a lot of different things over there, a lot of different live shows, movie nights, exclusive videos, exclusive early access, Discord, a whole bunch of just stuff. And I love it so much over there, so I would really love to have you over there if you would like to join. I don't know what our book club pick is going to be for this upcoming month because I'm filming this like a week early, so I haven't posted the polls yet to decide, but we'll pop in and tell you about the book that we will be reading for February. It's future Deja here to tell y'all about the book club pick that we have chosen for the month of February. We are going to be reading The Weekend Retreat by Tara Lozowski, and I honestly never heard of this book before, but I was asking in the Patreon Discord, like, hey, is there any books that y'all want me to put on the polls for the coming months? And one of my patrons, Mel, suggested this book back a couple months ago. I believe it came out in December. Don't quote me on that, but I think it did. And so this is the book that we're going to be reading. I literally didn't know anything about it, so I didn't think it would win the poll, but it won. So this one says that it follows the Van Ness siblings with their heirs to a copper fortune, and they gather at a winery estate for a joint birthday celebration. I believe they also bring their significant others, and they're all in couples. And so they're trying to escape the public eye as they aim for a weekend of relaxation, but old tensions resurface, pushing the couples to the brink. As secrets unravel and a storm descends, darkness brings deadly revelations beyond the vineyard gates. So this one sounds like it's going to be a pretty classic, like, domestic thriller kind of vibe, but with siblings, but also has couples in it. So I'm excited to try it out, but I don't know if it's going to be mind-blowing or anything. But regardless, I'm still excited to discuss it with my patrons because I love talking to them so much. And so if you would like to join and discuss this book with us, or our past book club pick for January, The Overnight Guest, we will be having the live show for that one on the 5th of February. So if you would like to join in on that discussion, Patreon will be linked down below. And the read-along that we are doing over on Patreon is a Hunger Games themed readathon. Well, it is just a Hunger Games read-along. We will be reading the 4 books that are in the Hunger Games series. I have not read the series since I was in like elementary school, I think it was. I think I read these in 5th grade. Probably 6th grade I finished the series. I love the series. It's what got me back into reading, if you don't know. I was a reader as a child and everything like that, but then I stopped when I moved states because that was a really hard transition for me. And then I wanted to go see Catching Fire with my friend. So once I saw Catching Fire, I was obsessed. I had to read the books, and then I fell in love, and I found Divergent and The Mortal Instruments and all these other young adult series. And most of them I'm really scared to read because I feel like they wouldn't hold up today, but the Hunger Games, I know she's gonna hold up, so I'm really excited to reread her. The first book we're actually reading in January, but I am doing the live show in the middle of February to kind of separate our book discussions a little bit, because we always have one towards the beginning of the month, so now we're going to have one in the middle of the month as well. So we're going to be discussing the first book, The Hunger Games, in the middle of February. So since it's going to be in the middle of February, I want to read the book towards the middle, so that way the thoughts are fresh for the discussion. And so if you don't know what The Hunger Games is about, we follow Katniss Everdeen, and she lives in this dystopian universe where there is this thing called the Hunger Games, where there is a reaping every year, and they pick a girl and a boy from each district. There are 12 districts, and then those people are sent to the Hunger Games, where they are basically fighting in a arena against all the other girls and boys that were chosen. It is crazy. It's insane. It has so many deaths and kills throughout this series. It's very heart-wrenching and it is so good. I'm sure all of y'all know about it. I've either read it or seen the movies, and I just saw The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes a couple months ago and I absolutely adored it. So I really wanted to get back into the series, reread it, maybe rewatch the movies, and read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes for the very first time because I have not read that one. And the readathon that I'm going to be participating in is the For the Culture readathon. This is one of my favorite readathons. It's hosted by Ty over at the Book Tribe. I love her channel so much. Please go check her out. She does not have enough subscribers, but she hosts the For the Culture readathon every couple months. She hosts it really. She hosted the last round back in October. That one was vampire themed. This one is, I believe, favorite character themed, about black characters that are like icons or favorites from predominantly white movies and TV shows. So I will put a picture up here of the board. It is a 4x3 board and I'm going to be going down the right side, just straight down. So the very first one is Ariel, which is read a lighthearted fantasy or fantasy romance. And for this one, I'm reading The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. This one is also going to be my fantasy romance reading vlog. I don't know what it's about, but I believe it's more of like a fantasy rom-com, which I have not seen a ton of, but I'm really excited because I don't know of many fantasy romances written by black authors. So I'm happy that we have this one, and I know that we have another one coming out towards the end of February, but that one is going to be too late to put in my reading vlog. But I really want to pick that one up, so hopefully maybe I'll get to that one in March or April. A lot of the books I'm reading this month I don't know that much about, so I'm going to be reading a lot of synopses in this video. It says all I wanted to do was live my life in peace, maybe get a cat, expand my spice farm, really anything that doesn't involve going on a quest where an orc might rip off my face. But they said the goddess has favorites. If so, I'm clearly not one of them. After saving the demon Fallon in a wine-drunken stupor, all he wanted to do was kill an evil witch enslaving his people. I mean, I get it, don't get me wrong, but he's dragging me along for the ride and I'm kind of peeved about it. On the bright side, he keeps burning off his shirt. So it just sounds like it's going to be so cute. Like they're on this quest and she doesn't really want to be there. She's really disgruntled about it, but he is very attractive to her, and you can tell that this is a very humorous book just by that writing in the synopsis. So I'm really excited to check it out. The next prompt is Jesper, which is found family, and for this one I was looking at what other people put on Storygraph for this prompt, and I saw someone put The Black Veins on there, which is one that I purchased a couple years ago, and it is like a new adult fantasy, I believe. I don't know anything about it, but I decided to put it on here since I physically own it, but it's at home. It says, in a world where magic thrives in secret city corners, a group of magicians embarks on a road trip, and it's the no love interest found family adventure you've been searching for. So it literally says found family right in the synopsis. So I'm definitely going to be going with this one for that prompt. And the last one is The Lieutenant from Star Trek. I never know how to pronounce this. Like, it's really hard for me to pronounce, so I don't want to butcher it. But her prompt is a book set in space or another planet. And for that one, I'm going to be going with Binti, which is another one I own that's at home. This one, so many people I know have read it and really liked it. It says her name is Binti and she's the first of the Himba people to ever get offered a piece of Umza University, the finest institution of higher learning in the galaxy, but to accept the offer will mean giving up her place in the family to travel between the stars among strangers who do not share her ways or respect her customs. And so obviously this one takes place in space because she has to travel among the stars, and knowledge comes at a cost, it says, one that Binti is willing to pay, but her journey will not be easy. And I believe that there's also some wars happening between some alien races, so I'm really excited to check this one out because it's super short, and I've never read a sci-fi this short before, but I think I actually really like sci-fi because I really like science. In another lifetime I would have been a science major. I mean, psychology is a science, so I don't care what anybody says, but I'm in a science major, at least one of them, but I would have been more like, you know, a hard science major. Here is a third outfit for Deja. I wanted to promote another readathon. I will like kind of be participating in it. I don't know like how much I'm going to read this month because I'm in a reading slump. Kelsey Thomas over at Kel's Sweetie. I'll have her Instagram link down below. She does a lot of art, but then she also reads a lot of books. She literally says, where are the black girls reading horror thriller / unhinged lit, aka me. She is doing a I Love Black Horror Month readathon. That's the whole month that's specifically for black horror. The prompt for the overall readathon is to read black horror authors and black main characters. So each week has a different kind of theme. So week 1 is vampires, week 2 is witches, week 3 is monsters, and week 4 is spirits. So each week you try to read books or a book that fits like black vampires in horror, something like that. And I will try to read at least one book a week for this readathon. I really want to, because it's such like an amazing idea. I've never seen someone do a specifically black horror readathon. Obviously there's for the culture readathon, but you can read any genre for that one. This one is specifically for black horror, which is literally like my niche. Like that's my favorite category. So yeah, I just really wanted to promote this readathon and tell y'all a little bit about it. Now we're going to be going over my TBR jar, and this has basically most of the books that are on my physical TBR, and I pull one out every single month to try and get through my physical TBR. Last month I was supposed to read The Last House on Needless Street by Katrina Ward, which I did read, and I said to myself that I have to read every single book that I pull throughout the year, or I have to unhaul them at the end of the year. So yeah, we'll see what I get this month. Each one has a number and a letter that corresponds to a row and a column in a spreadsheet. So let's just dive right in here. There are certain colors that I really like and certain colors that I don't like. That's why I haven't added all the books yet, because I don't have these colors of paper anymore, and each color corresponds to a different genre. So I think the new books, I'm just gonna have to add them on one separate color, like white or something, and those are just gonna have to be the new ones. Okay, I just had a mishap where my spreadsheet wasn't working and I spilled a whole bunch of papers on the floor. So let's finally pick one. I feel like I'm gonna accidentally take some out. Okay, I have one in my hand that I want. Okay, this orange one is the one that I'm choosing, but some of them fell out. I don't remember what genre orange is. Oh, I can tell you. Orange is historical fiction / historical romance. Great, we'll see what it is. So E2 is The Dark Days Club by Allison Goodman. I don't know what this one is about, but I just remember, I'm pretty sure it's a little long. The Dark Days Club. Let's see what she's about. This one takes place in London, April 1812. On the eve of 18-year-old Lady Helen presentation to the Queen, one of her family's housemates disappears, and Helen is drawn into the shadows of Regency London. There she meets Lord Carlston, one of the few who can stop the perpetrators, a cable of demons infiltrating every level of society. Dare she ask for help when her reputation is almost as black as his lingering eyes? And will her intelligence and headstrong curiosity wind up leaving them into a death trap? It actually says that it's fantasy. It's almost 500 pages, and I have a lot of other chunky books on this TBR, and I'm in a reading slump, so we'll see if I actually get to this one. But I have the rest of the year to read it if I don't read it this month, but then I'll be behind. So we'll try to read it this month, but out of all the books I could have picked, this is not the worst one, honestly. So for last month, I did 5 spins, and I have 2 of them here physically with me. For a BIPOC author, I went with My Darkest Prayer by S.A. Cosby, which I did read. For related to nature, I did Moon of the Crusted Snow, and I did read that one as well. For a gritty book, I actually went with Saving Noah, but I replaced it with Crossroads by Laura Hightower, which I did read. And then I have 2 books left over, which is read a book that you've already started, and for that one I went with Along the River of Flesh, which I have not gotten to yet. And for a NetGalley arc, I went with The Fury by Alex Michaelides, because I also have this one on NetGalley, and I have not read this one yet either. I still have a week left in the month, so I feel like I will finish both of those, but I am in a reading slump, so I'm just going to take a punishment and call it a day. Yeah, we'll just take a punishment. So first I'm going to spin it for a punishment. Let's see what I get. I don't have that many options on here. So I have to read a book with an ugly cover. For the punishment, I got read a book with an ugly cover, and for this one, I'm actually going to go with one that's also going to be in my romantasy reading vlog, and that is A Court of Silver Flames. I hate this cover. I hate the color combination. I hate this like swirly mask. I don't know. I just don't like it at all. This is the 4th book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, which the first 3 books follow our main character Feyre. This one follows her sister Nesta and her romantic relationship. Everybody that I know loves this one, so I'm really excited to pick it up myself. I really want to read this one before I read the new Sarah J Maas book, the 3rd book in the Crescent City series, so I'm planning on getting to this one this month, and then hopefully getting to Crescent City 3 in March, which I know is going to be like a month late, but you know what? I can only read so many big books in a month. Spin number 1. We have a random number, so this is going to be a random number generator. First prompt, I got to do a random number. So what I'm going to do is I have my TBR card here. I'm going to count how many books are on it, and I'm going to ask Alexa to give me a random number between 1 and that number, and then we're going to read that book off the TBR. I also do have some books back here on my shelves and stuff, which I'm going to count as well. So that is 95 books, which I'm surprised I have that many books in my room. So Alexa, Give me a number between 1 and 95.
Good afternoon, Daya. Here's a number between 1 and 95. It's 9.
Okay, 9. But she always mispronounces my name. I know. So 9 is going to be on this top row. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth is going to be on my TBR for this month. I'm really excited to get to this one because I know my friend Haley loves it. It says 2 sisters, 1 truth, but which of them knows it? I know this has ADHD representation in it, which is why she told me that she thinks I would really like this one. Spin number 2. We have a horror book. Next up, we have a horror book, and for this one, I'm going with The Winter People, which is going to be in my winter books video. I have no idea what this one is about. I believe it's actually a ghost story, which I hate ghost stories. I hate paranormal in books. I do. But the reason I want to put this one on my TBR is because when I go through and see my friends' reviews, all of them are 5 stars. Literally, like, every single one is a 5-star, and I'm confused, so I want to read it myself because I haven't heard the best things about Jennifer McMahon, so I'm going to go with this one for that. Spin number 3. We have a book with an animal on the cover. The next prompt is a book with an animal on the cover, and for this one I'm going to go with The Dead Romantics, which has a crow right here, and on the back. And so this one I believe follows a ghostwriter, and she gets this new job, or like a new editor or something like that, and she ends up having her father pass away, so she goes back to her small town, and like in that town / like the funeral home or something like that, this editor is there as a ghost because she can actually see ghosts as well. And this one is a romance. I read The 7-Year Slip by this author, so I loved it, and I put this on my 24 books to read in 2024, so I definitely need to pick this one up. Spin number 5. Sorry, that was spin number 4. A book off my own TBR. Next up is a book off my own TBR, and for this one I'm going to go with Binti. Since I physically own this one, it's just not here with me, but I'm definitely going to go with that one for this one, and, you know, double up, make things easier for myself. And lastly, spin number 5 this time for real. We have a book that takes place in a city. The last prompt is a book that takes place in a city, and for this one I'm going to go with The Black Veins because it said that there is magic in city corners, so I'm counting that one because it says city in the synopsis. Even though it says it's like a road trip, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to pop around to a couple different cities, so I'm going to count that one for this prompt as well. And if it doesn't take place in a city, you know what, all well. I did the best I could, okay? So that's my TBR for this month. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you're participating in any readathons this upcoming month, or if you read any of the books that I'm going to be reading this month. I'm super excited for this TBR and the reading vlogs that I have coming. So yeah, I'm really excited. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you haven't already, make sure to check out my Patreon down below. If you made it to the end, leave a little crow or bird emoji down below for The Dead Romantics, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye everybody.